Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku Had Deadpool's Ability Part 2. The end. I sat flat against the wall with my hand bloodied from my own blood. My home was filled with holes created from my fist. It no longer felt like home though the memories did tie me down to this place. It has been 3 days of me sitting against the only wall that was still intact. I haven't ate since my final meal with them. My door swung open even though I locked it to reveal a certain rodent. I didn't move an inch as he stepped towards me. He picked up a knocked-over chair and sat on it. To be honest, Deadpool, I thought by the first hour you would have come to kill me. It does seem like you are in no condition to move. Nezu Buckin said to me. Just shut the buck up already. I said to him, lifting my head to look him in the eyes. Vulgar as always. Nezu says, shifting in his seat. Why? Why? Well, I don't want a mass murdering vigilante to be hanging among my students. That is why. Not to say that is the only thing you are known for. Nezu cheerfully said, annoying me more. Midoriya, you what I see in you? I see myself if I were to give in to my rage. You are like a mirror to me as I am a mirror of you. You let me see what I would have become and do so. Thank you for answering a question that has been lingering with me. Nezu said, clapping. Anything else? I am also here to tell you that UA begins in 4 months as the rest of the students get in. Nezu said to me. Just wanted to tell you that so you could see them excel without you. I am really here to see how you're holding up after the choice you made for them. Though you could have easily just and come kill me like I thought you would. Nezu said with my looking directly into his. Oh, trust me, that thought of making you into my kumrag has crossed my mind multiple times. Though what is stopping you? Oh, I know, a promise you made that you are keeping. Besides, if you killed me, every single law enforcement, hero or citizen would be hunting you down. Nezu said, hopping out his seat, walking into my range. If I kill you, their dreams are finished, I yelled. I instantly grabbed him by the collar of his suit, lifting him into the air. Don't get it twisted, Nezu. Don't act like I wouldn't murder everyone in my way, I yelled, standing up. You are only still alive because I made a promise. If I didn't, you would be dead where you stand, I yelled, dropping him to the ground as he coughed. Did you really have to make an Undertale reference? He asked as I nodded. It was the proper way to convey how I feel about you. You are good animal, but if you mess with my family that has nothing to with my problems, I will tear through any wall you put up. I said, staring at him as he stared back. I made a deal as well, so I am going to hold up my end. Just hold on to your side and nothing happens to them. Though if something were to happen to you now, that is fair game. Nezu said, walking away as something was thrown inside. Ahaha, you're really funny, Nezu, I yelled out, finally being able to let out my rage as the grenade blew up, blowing me out the pizzeria. I heard multiple clicks around me. I get up like an inflatable crazy moving tube man. You guys really know how to get my boner going, I yelled out with my body healing the shrapnel wounds. Oh, would you look at that, the top hero of Japan are here to take down the immortal Deadpool, Deadpool yelled out. I am back, bitches, even more insane. I am currently running on insanely bad depression, suicidal thoughts and 3 days of no sleep. I am ready to kill God or become HIMMM, I yelled out with bullets, turning me to Swiss cheese. I run up to one with a riot shield. I yank it out from his arm, smashing my head into his helmet, breaking it. You guys should invest more in better armor, I shouted, grabbing the barrel of the gun. On oh bullets, that is okay, daddy here would use you better than the other guy, I yelled, using the gun as a bat to hit the others in riot armor policemen. They retreat as I backflip over a torrent of fire. Oh, Mr. Fire Hazard is here, are you finally going to show me how you thought you were going to be number one? I smiled crazily, saying that unnerving endeavor. I rushed forward towards him with my knife that I got from my waistband. Stand down, you damn villain, Endeavor yelled, sending a torrent of fire at me. I run through it as it burned my cloths off. Hey, have you ever heard about the 1000-degree knife challenge? Wait, that was 200 years ago. I yelled with my charred body jumping out from the flames with knife that was red hot, melting the flesh of my hand like butter. I wonder how you look, bloody, I yelled, about to drive the knife into his chest until multiple feathers should impale me. Way to ruin the homage to my good friend who used to be like that, I yelled, getting kicked in the face by a rabbit foot. Looks like the lucky rabbit's foot I order is here. Damn, I wanted a good fight, but this one seems a bit loony, you think, Burnin'? The newest Endeavor intern Maruko asked her teammate. This guy is on the top wanted list for a reason, but over time he had more self-control. It looks like he has gone back to his old self, Burnin' yelled. Now that is an interesting comment. Blame Nezu for this little girl, I yelled next to them. Before they reacted, I kicked the bunny rabbit in the gut, sending her back. That gave the one with fire hair the chance to set my head on fire. That was pretty hot. I guess I look like Ghost Rider now, I yelled, headbutting her nose and side kicking into the incoming rabbit. Hey, come down here so I can have some wings, I am hungry, little birdie, I yelled at Hawks, who was flying high. My body lit on fire once again. Hey, you think you can turn up the I am a bit cold right now, I shouted, getting a punch in the face from the flaming trash bag. I stab his arm with my 1000-degree knife, that cut like butter. I kick Endeavor in the nose, hearing a large crack. Oh, that sounded really nice. Now where is the chicken? There he is, I yelled, chucking my knife at Hawks, hitting him directly in the shoulder. Ah, Buck, how the hell did it land the shot? He screamed, trying to stay in the air with a burning hot knife in him. I don't know, try asking me directly, I yelled, jumping towards him, grabbing his face, breaking his goggles. We slam into the ground as I beat into his face while retrieving my knife. A certain rabbit stopped me from continuing kicking me away. She grabbed Hawks and jumped away. I noticed that everyone was gone. Everyone get out of here, I am going to roast him to death. Nezu says plan B, he is too unstable to capture Endeavor, yelled Bear, hugging me from the back. If you wanted a hug you should have asked Endeavor, sent hahaha. I laughed as he turned himself into a blast furnace with me being the main thing burning. Ahahahahaha, I laughed as my skin melted because the physical pain really did dull out the emotional one. You really are a monster, Endeavor shouted as the flames engulf us more. Wanna know my real name? I yelled with the flames starting char me. Shut up, Endeavor yelled. My name is Deadpool aka Izuku Midoriya Bakugo, we are one and the same, I shouted with the fire turning blue, burning me greatly. You must know my cousin, I yelled as my body turned to ash. Just shut your mouth and die silently while you still have some of your sanity, Endeavor yelled, like your wife. I asked, twisting my head backwards to face him as I burned. I have gone to the psyche ward before because my former partner wanting me to get some treatment. Didn't work but worth a shot, right? I met one person there with pure white hair and some really smooth skin for her age, still very beautiful. She was the only one there who didn't belong. Took a while for her to talk but eventually she vented to me her problems and I am doing what is right for her, so go check up on her, she might not be the same person. I said with my lower body fully turned to ash. There goes my dick, gonna miss you buddy. Just die already, Endeavor yelled because he reached his overheat limit long before the blue flames. Alright, just because you asked nicely I shall grant your wish, should have asked for to be number one but you already wished, so no take backs, genie code, I shouted, stabbing my still beating heart, ripping it out. The flames reached inside my body, burning me inside out. Setting my heart ablaze as I felt the sweet release of all my pain going away instantly. I should have died a lot sooner. Yes, you should have, now come join me, Izuku. I smiled hearing that voice to Endeavor. He saw me smiling as my charred body beginning to crumble. The rest of my body burned to ash. We won, Endeavor said, collapsing to the ground. The city around him was melted from the heat he produced. Looks like Midoriya chose to kill himself rather than let us do it to him. Nezu said, sipping his tea as the entire fight was live streamed because of the new chopper. Though many thought that killing as a hero was bad, but everyone knew who was Deadpool. The infamous vigilante that killed who wanted when he wanted. They all came together to agree that Deadpool was necessary to kill on the spot, and the media totally agreed. Izuku Midoriya Bakugo was then officially removed from the missing persons list. Itsuki blew up his entire wall as he heard his mother's cries from downstairs. He cried silently as he held an old photo of them on his 16th birthday. Mei and Toga fell apart as well as they saw the man they loved reduced to ash by the number 2 hero. They both held on to the belief that Izuku always said that he was immortal. Deidara saw and set him ablaze, telling himself constantly that isn't true, until his girlfriend told him to stop holding him as he cried as well. Yagi, Night Eye and Mirio sat in silence as the new played. Yagi took a deep breath from his new lungs that were donated to him by a hero in his opinion. He wiped a stray tear away as green-haired kid that he knew well became one of his memories like his master. A certain purple head saw the new as she finished her new patch that had a Deadpool symbol on it. She didn't believe that the idiot who saved her was death for a second. Anyone who saw the news cheered or wept from it. Ray cried silently with a certain blind woman held her. Weasel looked at the new end video with the entire bar as they saw Izuku's final act. They were silent as one their own was murdered by a hero as everyone else cheered. Weasel walked up to the Deadpool, changing the old record holder name to a new one. Then crossed out Izuku Midoriya Bakugo. Psych, I ain't dead, well I am currently. I fell down crashing into the ground with my legs sticking out. Wow, no pain. I said, digging my way out. I pat down my body that was previously burned to ash. Yay, my dick is back, hold up, I don't keep my cloths when I die. Buck and DBZ characters, always getting the good shit when they die. Suddenly 2 bright lights appear in front of me, one was bright red, the other was bright white. Izuku Midoriya. The white light said, you forgot the Bakugo part. I responded as I heard a sigh. Shut it, kid, we are just trying to do our jobs. The red light yelled at me as I down to see a vast emptiness filled darkness swirling in many directions. So is this the part where you tell me if I go to heaven or hell? I asked. Look, I am just going to take the soul so I can impress her. The white light said as a hand reached out to grab me. Who said you get the soul? I want to impress her, the red light yelled, pushing the white light's arm away. Hey, he belongs in hell, he belongs in heaven, they yelled, turning into humanoid forms fighting. To say the least, they needed to hit the gym. Hey, this is my only shot for her to even talk to me, a fat white balding neckbeard yelled to the similar looking fellow who looked the same but red. Shut up, I have known her the longest. She is Alway into the bad boys, she always leaves the nice guys in last, the red one yelled, who I believe is the devil at the other one I think is God. Hey fatso, are you talking about Mistress Death, because I promised to meet with her if I died, I yelled, walking over to them. You don't get to meet her, you don't deserve her at all, I have been friend with her for the longest, she at least owes me something, God yelled at as I flipped him off. I see now you two are a bunch of simps and nice guys, I laughed, making them mad. You don't deserve her, do you know how much we have given her, she at least owes us something, the devil yelled gasping for air. You gave her gifts and now you expect a hex will return for those gifts. Sorry my man, that is not how relationships work, so excuse me, I have lovely lady I have left waiting for a while now. I said turning around walking away. You know who you are talking to? God yelled at me, I know who and I do not care. I do what I want when I want because I can. If you can't understand that, go book yourself with a toaster strudel, I say walking away as my entire lower half gets obliterated. You can't talk to me like that boy, the devil said grabbing what was left of my body. Now you have to apologue, he didn't get finished because I punched him in the nose breaking it. God tries to intervene so I use my hands to walk. I throw myself at him smashing my head into his. Now if anyone asks me why I am in hell I can say I punched the devil and God I said, this is why I like you so Izuku. I turned to see a woman that was on the top of my list. Hello there, did I keep you waiting long? I asked receiving a nod, yes you did keep me waiting but I can wait another millennia just for your soul. I brought him here for you, oh great Mistress Death, God yelled bowing with the devil doing the same. Simp, I thought I can agree with you on that, Death said into my mind as I nodded. That is great, and also here have one my gloves. Death said tossing a glove to them. They instantly fought over it as she teleported me and her away from them. Hey mistress, did you miss me? I asked as she pulled me into a hug, the answer is yes to you, to others who ask it is no. She responded kissing my forehead, do you have to do that voice when we are talking because I want a normal conversation with you? I said as she smiled. Yes we can, besides I only use that to them because they get so turned on from it that they do what I want. She said as the layout changed into a home. This place is it's your mother's old home. I wanted you to see because you only saw it from photos. Death said as I lift her spinning her baby, I love you so much I am going to taking on a date, I yelled as she smiled. By the way, what about the other religious stuff people believe in? I asked as she sighed, as long you believe in something as if it was real it becomes real, that includes religion. She said wrapping her arms around me. I gotta say they have gotten bigger since the time last I have seen you, I said showing my head into her chest, so have you. She responded, please don't squeeze the family jewels. Baby, let's go out and have some fun while I am dead with you, I said leading her out. Sorry but we don't have that much time my love. She said showing me an hourglass, you don't have that much time here with me. Why I died back on Earth I am a literal pile of ash, I yelled out, but you left a lot of your blood in that wonderful home of yours, so you are growing back as we speak. Well, how time do we have? I asked with smiling. Well, technically we 2 hours but if you want me to, I can extend it by an extra 4. She said caressing my chest. How? By forcibly keeping you here with me. Death said to me, well how time would that be in Earth days? Month and a half at least. She responded as I get an idea, can I introduce you to my parents, also can I get some cloths? I asked as she smiled at me, sure thing Izuku. The world around shifted in scenery to a massive cherry blossom on a hill. I saw 2 people at the base of the tree leaning on each other. I walked to them then instantly sprinted toward them. Mom, Dad, I yelled with tears leaving my eyes as they looked up to see me. They get up rushing towards, I open my arms for hug. My dad pulled his arm back and landed a sucker punch to my face. You ain't supposed to be here, not yet, he yelled, so tell me why is my son here when he is barely 18? I have a good explanation, I swear, I said as my mom and dad pummeled me into the ground. Man, it's great that I can't feel pain because this would hurt. Look, I am only here for a couple hours so I will be back alive soon. I said with Mistress Death coming behind me. Once they saw her they both instantly bowed. Hey, what exactly are we? Well, I would like for you to be mine while you are here, so my lover, she told me as I nodded. Mom, Dad, I would like to introduce you to my undead lover Mistress Death, I announced as they looked at me shocked. I am back, so son, how did you two meet? Dad asked as I sit down holding her hand. Well, as you know, I was being experimented on when I saw her for the first time. I said to myself, I have fully gone insane because I am now seeing one of the most beautiful women in the world in front of me. I say as my mother pats my head. Sorry son for not giving you a healthy body. Mom said to me with her head down, you gave me the strongest body I could ask for. Izuku is right. You two made a wonderful man that I will gladly take as my lover when he finally crosses over. Mistress Death spoke giving me a kiss. We may be dead and not have been in my son's life since his conception, but we give you our full support, Mistress Death. Dad said sneezing with some fire coming out. I am glad Mitsuki chose you over me. Though son, what will you do? You can't talk to them or you will jeopardize their lives. Mom asked as I grinned. I am just going to be me, Deadpool, the little green menace of Japan. No will stop me from having fun or stealing from mob bosses. I am going to live the life I want while also giving everyone a show, I proclaimed as Mom pinched my cheek. Don't forget about the girls you left back on Earth. May and Himiko love just as much as Mistress Death. By the way, do you have a problem with this arrangement? Mom asked Death. No, I don't, as long I can have his soul with me in the afterlife, then I am fine with him hooking up with anyone. Death responded with my dad laughing. Like father like son, huh? He said, giving me a fist bump. Then Mom slapped the top of his head down. Don't encourage him to be like you. What is wrong? He's already on the path that me and Masera were on when we were teenagers, Dad said with Mom pouting. Don't remind me. She responded. Izuku remembered this. Me, your uncle, Inko and Mitsuki were delinquents. We did some bad things, but when we settled down together we left the life behind. Though that doesn't mean we didn't have fun, so live your life to the fullest, get some women, cash your cars, just don't waste it playing it safe. Dad ordered as I nodded. Now leave before I make sure you stay here with us. We will be watching, so hold my words close to your heart, also be as insane as you want it, make life way funnier, he said. I gave a final hug as they slowly faded away from me. Izuku, you know that once you die you will be with me, right? Death asked me. I wouldn't have it any other way. I respond with her patting my head. Great, because one day I will call on you to be my champion for my hand. Wait, other people are after your hand like marrying. I am going to kill them all, I shouted in rage with her holding my chin. Don't worry about that purple bastard. You will beat him because you are my Izuku and I am yours. Death whispered into ear, making me feel all good. You just know how to make me feel happy inside, but I would like to shower my happiness all over you with a date. I said, taking her hand and running. Sure thing. Montage time. Me and Death went throughout the entire afterlife seeing anything that looked nice. I ended up shooting Helter in the face as Death took a picture. After that I did the same to Stalin. We went into the dinosaur part of the afterlife. I released the dinosaurs from their zone and wreaked havoc across the area. I held Death as we rode on a T-Rex's head, eating anyone that was in the way. I did the same with the anyone that was dangerous during history, like unlocking a padlocked cage. It was like a flood of people coming, ripping another dead people to shreds. Just love the many screams that we are hearing together, I shouted, jumping into the air with Death in my arms. You know, Izuku, we have a limited time together. She says, sadly looking down. Then one day I will find a way to die just for you, I promise, I say as she placed a finger over my lips. Promises mean everything to me, Izuku, I am a promise. She said, looking down, a promise that is kept by everyone but you. Baby, don't worry, I am gonna change, I got a plan, I say, looking to the side, though is going to be really big and really bucking hard to pull off. F smiled as she went up my ear and said, that what she said. Have I ever told you how much I love you? I get out a large amount of guns as we turn anybody we saw in Ghost Swiss cheese. By the way, do they come back? I ask after shooting Abraham Lincoln in the back of the head. Yes, no one truly dies unless a god wants to, or a gauntlet of a certain kind can fully make sure that the soul is destroyed. She responded, ripping a Viking in half. Suddenly I see an arcade and smile. Hey baby, want to put some balls in holes? I ask as her cheeks went light shade of red. I thought you would never ask. Couple minutes of later, I chuck another ball into the ski ball into the 1 million hole. I turn to Death to see her with her hand on her face as I laughed a bit. What, you never played skee ball? Or were you expecting something different? I asked, getting punched in the gut. Next, get your mind out of the gutter, mistress. I said, holding her tight while copping a feel of her juicy backside as I felt something similar. Honk honk. Suddenly we heard a beeping and Death waved her hand, making an hourglass appear from nowhere. Oh, we only have 1 hour left together. What else can we do? She asked, looking deeply into my eyes. Maybe cuddle. I suggested as she teleported us to her room that was dark. Cut to 50 minutes later. Harder, make me yours, Izuku, Death shouted as we both climaxed at the same time, collapsing onto the now destroyed bed we made love in. Sorry about the bed, I said tiredly as she waved me off. That was the best thing to ever happen to me in all of my time alive. She said as I smiled. It was your first time, right? I asked as I was slapped into the wall. Yes, no more talking about it because you're my first. She said while I unstuck myself from the wall. I got back in the bed holding her close. Don't worry, it was my first too. Well, my first time while dead. I haven't done with anyone in Earth yet. I said. We held each other silence. The rest of the time we stayed in silence, listening to each other's heartbeat. Did she even have a heart? Well, whatever, I heard a beat, so let's just say it was heartbeat. The timer was at a single minute left. We held onto each other tightly. I will visit you, I swear, so you don't get lonely. I said, shutting my eyes as the timer reached 5 seconds. I would like that very much, my love. I opened my eyes to see my pizzeria again. It was trashed to beyond recognition. I got up to see that I was naked but felt a nice draft under my jewels. Can I even get her pregnant? I came her like 4 times, only time will tell. I searched my room to find it completely empty. I ran to May's room to find the rest of the inventions that I couldn't pack up for her were gone. I ran to the kitchen to find it empty as well. They even took my pizza oven man after getting the parts to fix it as well. I said, going to the back room to see the yellow bunny and bear suit still there. Okay, you're still here, so that is good. They must have took everything for evidence or some looters stole my shit. I hope it is the evidence, because if I see another person using my oven, oh, you don't want to know what will happen to them, I shouted, checking if my bike was still here. Nope, gone as well. Man, I am naked, have nothing. This feels very similar, like I have felt this before. I say as I remembered where May's teleporter was. I turned to see a massive bear standing in front of me. Hey buddy, did you miss me? I asked as some sparks fly out of it. The bear didn't respond as its chest opened to reveal some of my cloths folded, my suit and the teleporter. I noticed damage all over him and I looked over to see that the others were as badly damaged. Thanks for protecting the place even though I thought I turned you off. I said as he pointed at his power cell. I forgot you have an internal battery. You can sleep now, I will fix you all up again soon. So good night, Freddy. I said as he nodded, returning to his stage and shutting off for good. I put on my suit along with May's gift that was mounted onto my wrist. I teleported, stole some spray paint and a lighter. Then I went to the largest building, which so happened to be All Might Tower. I wrote a message, then lit the match as the night became day from the brightness of the fire lit the sky up. Ahahaha, let's see how Japan reacts to my little message to Nezu. I chuckled at the chaos that will happen. Soon the night became day as anybody that could read saw my message. Itsuki sat in his dorm's living room with the rest of his supposed classmates as the news came on. I knew that nerd wouldn't die from that tiny fire, he shouted as a certain purpled-haired girl looked at the screen and thought called it. Looks like he can't really die. Right, Mina? A redhead asked his pink friend. Yup. Itsuki looked at the screen and smiled that her son was back as she heard a victory yell from the living room. See Tuya, he was okay. Chida said, putting on his sweater. Okay, I get it, sorry for almost burning the apartment down. He said, smiling as he began to take down a shrine for his cousin. He is a damn monster, Endeavor yelled as he stormed out his home to look for his wife. Told you that dumbass wouldn't die, Ray and blind lady said to a woman with snow white hair. I was wrong, but you can't blame me. Night Eye looks like a hero is still alive. Yagi stated as Night Eye looked down. You know how much we have to pay for the damage? Night Eye asked Yagi. Can't be that much. He said with Night Eye showing him the bill. He suddenly buffed up. Oh my goodness, that day All Might's net worth went down 5%. Mei and Toga looked at the screen with smile. Looks like Zuzu is back, already back, Toga said. Yep, looks like the father to my babies is back, but for some reason I feel jealous, she said as a fire lit inside her again to build again. Looks like Deadpool is back, but why must he be so vulgar? Nezu said in his office as he looked at the message. The message, move on. I sat on a ledge on top of a massive building eating my chimichanga. I looked CDUA in the distance. Looks like my fun will soon begin. I said out loud, putting away my notebook as I heard footsteps behind me. They continued walking towards me as I stayed still. Soon they stopped and sat on the same ledge as me. You know, I was surprised that you came back, but I knew one way or another you would. I shifted my head to see familiar white mammal. Hey Nezu, did you miss me? I hope you did. I say, patting his head. He quickly removed my hand. I would be lying if I say I did. He responded, taking out a teacup from nowhere. I do the same, taking out a bottle of Jack Daniels. Look Nezu. I want to have some fun, you up for a game? I asked with him shaking his head no. You're no fun. How about I cut you a deal? He said, taking out a packet. I may have said before I would never let a murder like you into my school. Though I saw it from black and white. Murder is bad, so you are bad. He spoke looking down. After you died, the crime in the area you were constantly in skyrocketed. Heroes never patrol there, so that made sense. So I sent in hero only for them to be ganged up on and beaten. Nezu said as I took a big swig. Nezu, I am back, so it will go down, plus from what I can tell some piece of shit cock gobbler is running things over there. He is the first on my list to kill or humiliated, whatever is funnier. I say, thinking of a way to use a rock hard biscuit to beat the guy. What I am trying to say with you gone, more bad incidents happen. You do terrible things to people for fun. What about the allegations that you like to terrorize your staff and student for fun? I asked. No comment. Okay, keep your secrets. I say with him shaking his head. Lord of the Rings. Really? He asked, face pawing. Ah, you got it, looks like you're a nerd. Look, to put it simply, you do more good than bad. Yes, the bad is murder, but the good is that the person dead was a serial rapist. So the good outshines the bad, making the world overall safer. Nezu says, opening a sweet case filled with my kills. Hey, my kill count, I would love to see some familiar faces. I said. These were all terrible people. Some were child molesters, others were killers, most were abusers and human trafficker. You kill, yes, but it was bad people beyond redemption. Nezu said, looking down. You even save people from suicide like young Kyokijiro. Nezu smiled as he said this. So that's her name? It's pretty nice. I say. You help abandoned children or lost kids. Nezu says, taking out another packet of files. This is why I came up with simple conclusion I should have came up with first. You are like me and I am like you. We are two sides of the same coin. I do things legally while you do things illegally. You dived headfirst into your insanity while I steered clear of it. Nezu said, taking out another packet that held my case. But we both do good in our own right, that is something I ignored when I took on your case. So I am going to do the right thing morally rather than legally like I usually do. Nezu stated, dumping all the packets of paper and a flash drive into a pile. I am going to use this. He said, taking my Jack Daniels and dumped it over pile. He reached into his pocket, taking out a lighter and tossed it into the pile. It lit instantly, burning everything. That was every single bit of information and evidence on you. I've data erased anything bad you have done. That flash drive was the rest that needed to put you in jail for life. You are now pardoned from your crimes, Deadpool no Izuku Midoriya Bakugo, Nezu said as I dumped journal into the fire as well. That was my plan, to terrorize you, so now we are even. Though you did kill me, so I will just call even because many have already tried to kill me, even God now. I said, drinking the rest of my drink. Nezu walked up to me as I crouched down to his height. Well, you could come to UA with me if you want to. I could let you in if you want. To make sure we are even. He offered. I thought about it for a second, then I thought about the things that needed to get done. Sorry Mayhimi, I have to do my part before I do you guys. That did not come out right. Whatever, it's my head. No. I can't, maybe later but not now. I fulfilled my promise to support their dreams. Now I have to finish my mission, so I can't have school distract me now. I said as Nezu nodded, just don't overdo it please. He asked, walking away from me. Fine, I will try. I said, wiping away a straight tear. No more distractions, so watch out Doc, because I am looking for a checkup, but first let's fix my turf. Cut to 2 days later. At least I can tell Nezu I certainly tried. I say as I walk out of burning exploding building with a charred and ripped up suit. That I fixed up with some duct tape. I look down to my hand, dragging the last surviving member of the group I just killed. I pick him by his hair to my eye level. Now you are going to tell me where the face bucker of a boss is. And if you don't, your head will be part of my decorations for my home. Maybe it would fit as a lamp. I asked myself as he struggled to talk. He owns more locations like this, he shouted, taking a note filled with locations. I let him go to run, then I shoot him in the head. Looks like I got more work. I wonder if blind Al will mind the blood. Wait, she is blind? Why even? I asking. Oh yeah Ray, she will definitely mind, but that is a problem for future Izuku, I shouted, making my way to my roommate's home. New job. Hey Al, I am back, I shouted, kicking the door open as she shot the door, barely missing me. Shit, you scared me, she said, walking away. Not like it could kill me anyways, but it would hurt. I say as I felt a frying pan to the back of my head. Al, are you okay? Did someone break in? Ray asked. No, this dumbass decided to be loud at night, so it is on him. Al said, with Ray patching my head up. Fine, that is on me. Hey Ray, how are holding up? I asked as she smiled. Fine, just want to see my kids soon. She said. I pat her head. Don't worry, you will see them soon. We just need to change your looks. And Endeavor found out about your double, so he is looking for you. I said, crossing out a list filled with locations. I gotta get a new card, plus I get to see some buckheads. I say, changing my cloths. Ray, wanna come? I asked as she nodded. Yeah, just leave my blind here by myself. Al said, sitting on the couch. Just use the TV I bought you. I say, you bought me a TV that is 3D, I am blind dumbass. She said sleepily. Yeah, not my best moment, but it was on sale, so I know you stole it, so at least tell the truth. You're right, but it's still a TV. Okay bye, I yelled, rushing out with Ray. So where are we going? She stuttered out. A place to have fun and for me to get a job. We go through multiple alleys that were like maze, so no outsiders could enter unless they knew the way. I only found it because I was chasing a guy. I opened the door to see the bar being normal. Hey Weasel, I yelled out as they aimed their guns at me. Holy shit, a zombie, Weasel yelled. Don't worry Izuku, I will put you out of my misery, he yelled, rushing me. Self-defense, I shouted, punching his nuts, and he went down. Okay guys, don't shoot, it's him. He groaned, holding his family jewels on the ground. I guess you can't die like you said. Weasel said, shakily, getting up. Well, we never tested it, so I guess I can't blame you. I sit at the bar as he slid me a drink. I need a new card, my stuff was taken. I said as he slid me one. Had this one on deck, plus you dying made me sort of rich, because remember I betted on you. He responded. Where's May? It's complicated. She is at UA with Himi, and wait, I no longer have a bad record, that means I can visit it. Thanks Weasel for reminding me, I yell out. That means we can see her. Ray asked. Yeah, but first let's take care of the guy running shit in my area. I say as they look down. It's great that you came back, Izuku. Weasel said, sliding me a paper. That damn loser is taxing us, and if we don't pay he comes to kill. Weasel says as I sighed. They are dangerous. So am I, but I am also an unstable psychopath that will kill over a Klondike bar. I said, chugging my drink. Just like that we went into full party mode with alcohol being drunk and chairs being thrown. Ray and me stayed back as some guys hit on her, only to hear a click from me that made them back off. Suddenly the door swung open to reveal a short person with a red hat and golden horns. He had an angry look with black hair. His shirt was black with some cargo shorts on. He walked up to the bar and struggled to get on the high stools. Once he got up there he looked to Weasel. "I want to hire someone to kill," he said angrily. Everybody turned their heads to me. "What? You are the best with kids, this is your problem. Take him to one of the back rooms to talk about the job." Weasel said, giving the kid a juice box that he usually gave to May. I shut the door as he took a seat across from Ray. I sit next to her as he sat quietly. "Okay, first thing, what is your name?" I asked Kota Izumi. "Why are you here?" I asked with him sighing. "I want someone dead. How you remind me of my young self that still wants a certain doctor dead." I said, giving Ray my drink that she accepts. "So who is it? A bully? Teacher? Or a pervert?" I asked as he rubbed his eyes. "It is a villain, he killed my mom and dad. They were heroes, so I want him dead," he yelled. "The heroes can't do anything, so I am asking you to kill him for me. He has blonde spiky hair and now is missing a left eye because my dad hurt him permanently." I search for the Izumi names and the Waterhose duo pop up with a photo of their murder. "Okay, and what is payment?" I asked, knowing it isn't much. He dug his hands into his pockets to reveal multiple coins. At the most it was 2,000 yen. "I know it isn't much, but it's all I have," he said as I accepted. "I give people discounts based on the circumstances, so I will accept what you gave. The contract is complete, so your target will get eliminated soon," I said, smiling as I crushed the side of the table. Ray hugged me. "Calm down. Let's return Kota to his family," she said as I sighed. "Sure. Kota, let's go, I will get you home so you can be safe." "Here isn't the safest," I say, picking him up. We walk out of the back room. "Weasel, I am leaving for a job, see y'all in a bit," I say, closing the door behind me. "Okay, Kota, how did you find this place?" I ask as he took out a piece of paper from his pocket. My auntie had this paper in her purse. I read it and it said it was for intel and hitmen. He said, stuffing it back in his pocket. "That's nice. You're pretty smart for a kid, so use that to your advantage. Being smart can get you pretty good things. Like knowing how much money you can extort through fear," I say as he looks at me confused. "Izuku, please don't give advice about how to gain money through your methods to a child." Ray told me airily. I thought kids liked money. Well, I didn't have a childhood, so who am I to say? "Can I know your name? Like your hitman name, or is it code name?" Kota asked. "I was given my name by these pack of ninjas that tried to kill me when I was a newborn child. Do you think I am dumb?" he asked. "Fine, I was just trying to make a joke. I got the name after people betted on me to die, only to realize that I can't, so they called me the winner of the Deadpool. First it was Captain Deadpool, but Deadpool sounded better, so I took it as my own with my partner, saying it was a great name," I said with Kota looking in awe. "You're the Deadpool. Ha, I thought you would be taller," Kota said, hitting me in a sore spot. "I can't control my height, that is something everyone deals with, though men deal with it more. By the way, Kota, do you know where you live?" Ray asked, fixing his hat. That the thing, I sort of ran away from Auntie because I knew this was my only shot to make it to the place," he said, looking down. We explored around the shopping district while doing some mini games like winning a green bunny for Kota and white one for Ray. Well, I got a bottle of hot sauce. We get some snacks as well while looking for his aunt that we haven't found a single clue to where she was. "How about we look for her as we get some ice cream for you, bud?" I asked. "Sure," he yelled as I chuckled from his excitement. "Looks like there is a kid spirit inside you after all," I say as we finally exit the arcade. I put Kota on my shoulders as we head to a local ice cream spot. "Okay, what do you guys want?" I ask as they thought for a bit. "A vanilla for me," Ray said as I nodded. "A chocolate," Kota said, so I ordered them the ice cream, paying it with Kota's payment money. "Kota Izumi." "Oh shit," I yell in surprise with Ray pinching my cheek. "No swearing in front of kids." I was surprised. "Kota, thank God you are safe, I suppose," Auntie said, hugging me very tightly yet comfortable and soft. "Thank you much for finding him." She stopped talking, looking at me intently. "Do I have something in my teeth?" "I thought you died, Deepo." "Hey, let's not cause public panic at 2 in the morning. I say, cutting her off. "I am called the Immortal Vigilante for a reason," I say, handing her Kota. "Fine, you get a slide for helping my nephew. Though next time as the hero Mandalay, I will have to detain you," she said, walking away with Kota. "Thank you for helping me," he yelled, shocking her. "Maybe he isn't so bad," she thought as she regrouped with her team because she found Kota. "She's hot," I say, getting elbowed by Ray. "What did I say?" I asked, confused with Ray walking away. "Teammate acquired." I stared down at my final target from my list of buildings to destroy. I love how time passes me by. Just have to make the most of it, I say, grabbing out a sniper. Just being a menace is so much fun. I zoom in to see 2 guards, one for each, I say as my finger reaches for the trigger. "I wouldn't do that, Deadpool, if I were you." "Well, not yet," a voice I heard behind me. "Buck and buzz kill," I say, getting up, turning around to see the Heroes Association main puppet. "Hey, Lady Negan, did you come to put me with old me down?" I asked. She stared me down with her arm fully loaded aimed at the ground. No. I just need some answers. She said, reverting her arm back to normal. What type of question? Your sexuality? Afterlife? Fortune? I asked, getting smacked. Just shut up for a bit, she angrily said as I do the motion a zipper across my mask. I thought about what you said before you tried to blow me up with your shoulder. Really now? Have you come to tell me I was right because I have a victory firework on me, I say, taking it out. Once it goes off it will say I was right. She looked at me with a face that said she was already done with my shit. Look, Deadpool, I just want join you. Lady Negan said, putting out her arm. Wait. Really? Man, I've always wanted a sidekick, I shout, taking her hand and shaking it very hard. I want to be a partner, not a sidekick. She sternly says, but she transformed her arm, aiming it straight at my schlong. No buts, okay, partner it is. I say, picking up my sniper. What about your previous life? I ask, zooming in to get my shot. All my money was donated to cancer charity and I didn't have an agency, so I don't have any interns. All my papers are hidden and I resigned today. Also don't got a family, so that is all taken care of for my former life. She says, standing next to me, aiming in for a shot too. Though they are begging me to come back or they will expose me. Blackmailing at its finest, though I don't really care. She said, attaching a silencer to her sniper arm. Well, you are now part of the ragtag squad, Team Deadpool, I know, really good name. I say as we both take the shot, killing the two guards. I grab her shoulder, teleporting us to the front door. Now how much C4? I ask as she was about to speak. Hey, who cares, all of it should work, I shout, dumping around 20. Now run, I shout, running away, hitting the detonator. You are an idiot, she shouted, sprinting away from the explosion. I know, but isn't that the fun part? I yelled, with dozens of pouring out like chicken with their quirks activated. If I die on my first mission with you, I am going to haunt you. Lady Negan said, if you do, tell Mistress Death I said hi and ask if she's pregnant, I say, using my sniper like a bat. Wait, is the afterlife as real like God and the devil? She asked, evading a flaming fist and counter by breaking the person's arm. Yeah, though those two are just simps for death, I responded, smashing the sniper across a thug's neck, breaking my said sniper. Does that mean I still have to go church or something? She asked another question. Nah, as long as you die you will end up in the afterlife. It just matters what you did in life. I say, getting pierced by a jagged rock. I take out my pistol, getting a double headshot with Lady Negan, blowing a guy's head to bits with a point-blank sniper shot, with a bullet curving, hitting 3 more, leaving me wide-mouthed. She looks at me and smirks, show off. I muttered, murking the rest of them with my twin pistols. There was a reason why I was the top assassin, you amateur. She said, smiling at me as I grumbled. We enter the warehouse to see more people. Gotta say this at least once, I think he heard us. I said, taking out my twin blades. No shit. She responded while I chuckled. A blast of energy shot past us along with a blast of water. Time to kill, I yell, cutting a couple heads off with a single spin. Lady Negan blew off multiple limbs from with explosive shots. I rush forward, inserting my blades into 3 people. Ha, you just got cabbed, I say, chucking them to the ground. We continue to massacre them for a bit, with both of us just trying to one-up each other. The ground suddenly began to shake with the sound of loud stomping coming right for us. We look in the general direction where the sound is coming from. We kill the rest quickly as the stomping got louder. Do you think it's Santa? I ask, you still believe in Santa Claus? She asked, looking at me weirdly. What? You don't? He's real, you know. Maybe he is, but he has never given me a present. She said coldly. Well, he always got me presents even after I became a killer. I also might have shot his sleigh, so I might get coal this Christmas. I say, thinking about fun memories. Well then, if he is real, I am going to shoot him for not getting me anything. She say as the stomping stopped to show a massive 12-foot buff monster. It looked human, but it looked like it wasn't all there. I didn't know Santa worked out. I say, confused, with Lady Negan looking at me. You still believe that thing is Santa? I can be hopeful because I want to say sorry. The charge smacking me into the wall. Captain Steroids hits harder. I say as multiple bullets pierce the massive dude. This guy is definitively on trigger, she yelled, ducking down, avoiding getting grabbed. Pretty lady, he yelled in a deep voice. Aw, he likes you, the feeling isn't mutual, she yelled, flipping backwards looking for a certain bullet. I charged right towards him, leaping into the air and stabbing both my swords into his back. Only for them to snap in half. Goddammit, I spent a lot of cash for these Pinkie Pies, are way better than these. The big dude turned around with a bright red face. I think I made it mad, I yelled, getting kicked into multiple crate. I get up too with multiple wood stakes impaled into me. Hey, I got wood. I say as an achievement appeared above my head with my leg getting grabbed. The roided monster then proceeded to hammer me consistently into the ground. You know, Lady Negan, the point of being my partner is helping me out. I yelled as my entire skeletal system became mush. Hold up a bit, and there it is, she shouted with a loud gunshot went off and the big lug fell over. I slowly got up as my bones snapped back into place. I groaned standing up on my feet. Next, can you shoot the guy who is trying to me? I slurred. Sorry, I had to find my armor-piercing round. She said, checking the dead body. This big guy was definitely using trigger, but the catch is that this version is way stronger. She said, looking at the neck where his veins were large and black. So was his tongue, meaning he was a daily user of it. The way it looks like is that he took multiple at the same time. Though that would usually mean overdose then death. I say, looking over her shoulder. Then let's go beat the boss up because he is my territory, I said, with my pistol drawn, going to the last room. We bust down the door to see very scared bearded fellow. He hiding in the corner and looked like he was about shit himself. Please don't kill me, he yelled. Are you the boss? I asked as he just nodded. Then that means I am in charge again because I stopped talking as I put my ear to the wall and knocked on it. It made a noise that indicated it was hollow. I kicked the wall, smashing right through to reveal a safe and a suitcase. Interesting things you tried to keep hidden. I say as he tries to run at me, but my sidekick partner held him down. I crack open the safe to reveal stacks of cash and paperwork. I take it out, placing it into pile. Hey buddy, what happens when you take what's mine? I ask. I tear down whatever you're doing and burned it to ashes. I say, lighting a match that I got from nowhere. I tossed it onto the pile, setting it on fire. He went into a rage trying to save the cash. I knock him out. Well, we can leave now. I say as she nods. I grab the suitcase and open it to reveal a single vial. Now this is a waste of a whole suitcase. I said, grabbing the vial. It had a label that said perfect. Looks like the rumor of the perfected trigger was true. Cool, I say, lifting into the air to smash it onto the ground. The lady Negan stopped me. The hell are you doing? She yelled, getting rid of a very dangerous item. I shouted back. Why? You literally have guns on you always, she yelled. Look, this gets into the wrong hands and you can say goodbye to this world. I know this little motherfucker can power up the one guy I am hunting, I shouted her. Then keep on you, it could prove useful, she countered. Fine, let's just calm down and chill. I say, sliding the vial into my pocket. Wanna grab a drink? I ask as she nods. First let's wash off all of the blood. She said as I looked down to see my entire suit was fully red and I was leaking blood. That sounds like a great idea. First day of class, sort of. Itsuki Bakugo, you shouldn't be in this class at all, you villain. A guy with a stick up his ass yelled me as I smirk. Why is that elitist? I asked, placing my feet on the desk. You're the brother of a murderer, so? I am proud of my little bro, as I should be. I say without a hint of regret. He is my family and you don't. You're back on family. You're proud of a murder? He yelled, confused on my stance. Yep, and you can't do nothing about it because I am going to be the #1 hero and he is going to be the #1 vigilante, I boasted, with the entire class looking at me. You shouldn't be allowed to be a hero or be here in general. He stated, calming down. Then prove it, prove that I shouldn't be here. I offered, standing up to him. Plus I think the worm wants to teach. At least you noticed me. It said, standing up, I am your teacher Shota Izawa. Put on these uniforms and meet me outside. He said. I grabbed one and left. I changed quickly, putting on my earplugs. Pink hair is really good with making me gear. I thought as I exited. You're here quickly, that's good. Though I have a question, what's with the earplugs? Izawa asked me. They block the sound of my quirk so I don't go deaf, and they mix speaker feature on it so when a person talks I hear them. I say, turning them on, clicking the sides. The rest of the class showed up. You all took too long, next time follow Bakugo's example. Izawa spoke, glaring at them. UA has no policy on how a teacher should run his class. So I will do as I see fit. So we are not going to the orientation, you are all adults, so act like it. He sternly explained. He tossed me a ball. You were at the top of the exams, so use your quirk to throw this the farthest you can. He said as I step into a painted circle. One concentrated blast coming up, I thought, as my hand sparked up. I shouted, erupting an explosion from my palm, sending it flying into the sky. Not bad. Izawa said, showing me my score, 874.3 meters. Oh, we can use our quirks, this is going to be fun, a pink alien with raccoon eyes yelled. Fun? How about this? The last person will be expelled. I am here to make heroes for the next 3 years. He threatened us. That isn't fair, round face yelled. Fair. Life isn't fair, round face. My brother was kidnapped at the age of 3 for his quirk. 10 years of pure torture, and when he finally broke he ended murdering everyone that hurt him. He lost the innocence he had and in return became absolutely insane. I speak up as they all look at me with pity. Don't look at me like that, he is doing what's right, taking out the monster that hide behind walls, I shout as the teacher looks at me impressed. He's right, you know, I kill anybody that totally deserves it. Though I do like to get paid for what I do. I turn my head to see a green bush of hair walking up to us. Sorry for being late to class, though I ain't enrolled, so technically I am early by my standards. Izuku says, munching on a chimichanga. What do I have, something in teeth? Why is a murder here? A grapehead yelled. Cause I can be anyone here, going to stop me? He responded, disappearing for a bit, then reappearing with a magnum in his hand. I want to challenge, so who is first? Hey nerd, you made a deal with the rat god, didn't you? I asked, sort of. Think of it as me halfway accepting it. He say, by the way, the POV is about to change. I thought, I've changed to the main character. Gotta love those, they just make the story feel better. I say, getting confused looks. Suddenly I begin to cough very loudly, holding my chest. I looks to see the bane of my existence, the grumpy hobo himself, Eraserhead. Can't believe you would use your quirk on a stage 5 cancer patient, I shouted, aiming my magnum at him. I shoot close to his head, not trying to shoot him because I genuinely respect the guy. He didn't even flinch from the gunshot. How you missed on purpose. He said, turning off his quirk. Good to know you don't kill like a madman, how the media portrays you. Sorry about using my quirk, you did not know you had cancer. Good, because a second longer and I have shot your ankle. I say, catching my breath. Wait, you have cancer? Red hair yells at me. Yeah, that's what I said, can't you hear? Anyway, care to join us on the activity or will you just watch? Eraserhead asked me. Sure thing, let me just get a drink. I say, teleporting to my den. Hey, have you seen my flask? I ask as she appeared, handing it to me. Have fun at school, Izuku. Ray said, giving me a hug. Sure thing, I just hope a clown doesn't show up. I say, with her looking at me confused. Don't worry about it, I will find it. I teleport back with my drink. I am ready, I shouted, then realizing that I don't like to do school stuff. Time skip please, I am begging you, I yelled, looking at the screen. Really, no time skip? Fine, I will just show off on all of these. I shout as they look at me weirdly. First things he made us do was standard push-ups, sit-ups and stretches. I sat next to a blonde boy that was twinkling, looking at the screen. Hey, you can see them too? I asked with him turn his head towards me. See who? He said, turning back to the watching the screen. This guy gets it. Midoriya, go up for the dash. Aizawa ordered as I was with a robot acting fellow. You should turn yourself in for your crimes, villain. He said to me, then what? I am just going to break out and release every single villain there. I taunted, getting into a runner's position. Oh, I sprint the entire thing at my max speed. 3.6 seconds, that what I got. I thought I could do better. I say with a robot getting 3.9 seconds. Everyone line up, we are doing the endurance run. Just run until you can't. Aizawa ordered as I lined up. Might as well sprint the entire thing. I say, stretching, you can sprint the entire time. A pink alien asked me, yeah, I have infinite stamina. I say, getting into a runner's position again. Time skip 40 minutes. Are you shitting me? Now you do the time skip, I shout. I am going home, I ain't dealing with this shit. The chapter is over, anybody reading this book off, cause I am done with this disrespect, I shout, teleporting home. So Mr. Aizawa, do we get expelled? Toru asked with him shaking his head. No, it was a logical ruse, you guys can go back to the dorms. He said, checking the placement. He got 7th, not bad for a guy that was half-assing it after the endurance run. It looked like he was a zombie doing the bare minimum. Dorms, well, looks like we met Bakugo's sibling. Uraraka said as they all entered the dorms. He seems cool, Kaminari says, getting a bowl of cereal with a fork. Cool. He kills for a living, Iida shouted. He went on a revenge streak and got shit done. Iida, you've never got anything done to you, want revenge, so shut it. Jiro spoke up. Iida became quiet and went to his room. Hey Jiro, why do you protect Deadpool? Uraraka asked her. He saved my life. He didn't have to, but he saved it. She responded, looking down. He saved ours as well, Kirishima shouted with Mina nodding. I am a bit confused because I zoned out a bit. The guy who showed up was Deadpool. Sato asked with everyone nodding. Why do you ask? Hiro Tsuyu asked. He was regular at my family's bakery, Sato exclaimed. Dang, really your stuff must rock if he was a regular. Shiro said, drinking a soda. Well, he saved my family from being extorted, so he saved me as well. Uraraka spoke up with Bakugo smiling. He doesn't sound bad, looks like just because he is a bad guy doesn't mean he is a bad guy. Hagakure says with Momo nodding. Thanks for the praise, but can someone pass me the salt I needed for my taco? I said with everyone looking at me. How are you here? They asked. The whole time. I have a room here and you guys weren't paying attention. I said, grabbing the salt myself. Hey Izuku, Fangs and Pink Hair are going to kill you. You know. Katsuki said to me, making me stop. I did not take that into account. I have to run, I shouted. Too late, I already texted them. How on is this for replacing the milk with horse sperm? I shouted with all them looking at me. Then their heads turned to Kaminari, who was eating cereal. He looked down at his bowl to see chunky milk. Ah yeah, he shouted, running toward the restrooms where everyone could hear him throwing up. That seems to be my cue to leave. I said, reaching for my teleporter. Suddenly an EMP went off and it stopped functioning. Izuku, I heard this and booked it towards the front door. A massive net gets shot at me and I get caught in it. Then tumble across the entire floor. Looks like our little immortal never bothered to say hi or even text a message, a crazed voice said, getting closer. Guys, we are friends, right? Help a brother out, I shouted with them just staring at me. Now you switched our mill, can you sort of deserve this for ghosting them? Kitsuki said while I struggled get out. Hey Izuku, want to know where is your dorm room? I heard this and looked up to see my former partner with a crazed look on her. Oh hey May honey, but I swear that I was going to call but I got distracted, Scout's honor, I pleaded with her face getting real close to mine. Her very beautiful eyes staring deeply into mine. I could feel her breath on my face and she whispered into my ear, you were never a Boy Scout, Izuku. Sending a shiver down my spine. I don't have to be a Boy Scout to say that, I countered, it's in the name. She backed away grabbing the end of the net and began to drag me to my dorm. You guys are a bunch of hoes, don't dare ask me for anything, I shouted as I was dragged into the elevator and the doors shut. Should have we helped him? Kiro Asui asked with Kitsuki shaking his head no. Haminari was still heard throwing up with Mineta holding his hair. So honey but did you miss me? I asked with May looking at me with sad eyes taking the net off. Of course I did, I saw you die on TV, now you're back acting like nothing happened, no calls, no messages, not even a letter saving that you were okay, she yelled at me picking me up with ease, slamming me against wall of the elevator. We have been partners since we were kids, yet you cut me out like nothing because you wanted me to fulfill my dream but that dream was supposed to have you in it as well, she cried holding me against the wall. We could have changed your identity, run away together, hell even kill Nezu and every single hero, anything so we could be together, yet you cut me out, she say angrily. I look down, look May, I'm sorry, I know I make jokes but I won't joke about this. I would rather die than let you take the fall for my damn lifestyle, I said, giving her a hug. But I am here now, I want you to know that, I say as she looks up at me. You promised to never leave alone like my family did, you broke the promise, I don't care if I had to go to prison, I am happy that you are back, but you broke the promise. I know but I will make you another promise that I will never break, I promise to never leave you, I said sticking my pinky out, that's the same promise you made me. She says looking at me, one that I am renewing. She hesitated a bit but took the pinky promise. Then she followed it by giving me a deep kiss. That is another promise to be with me. I don't care who you sleep with, just remember that I am your number one. She said kissing me again. But I already said I don't care, a certain voice in my head said. If you say so, mistress. I may not have many things right now to do this properly but book being normal. I said reaching into my pocket pulling out 2 grenade pins. I get on one knee with the pin in my hand. May Hatsune, will you be my wife in life and after? I asked as she placed her hands to her mouth. Yes, she shouted as I slid the ring onto her finger. She gives me a tight hug as the evaluator doors open, that was the longest evaluator ride ever. I said as she dragged me to my room. She opened the door to reveal my room and I saw my prized possession. I ran in hugging it, I knew I would get you back one day, I shouted hugging my beloved pizza oven. Ahem, I turned to see Himi on my bed. Himi, you're here, I shouted hugging her. I heard the door click and I turned back to see May locking the door. Honey but what are you doing? I asked as she turned giving a lustful stare. I look at Himiko to see the same look. There is a reason I spoke up about the women you can sleep with. She said in a very hexy voice taking off her tank top letting her breast fall. You're going to take my first time. I gulped looking down and seeing a budge in my pants, so I asked the question. So do you guys want to cuddle? Cut away to keep it paged to a certain point. So Bakugo is that his girlfriend? Kirishima asked him. I honestly don't know, they have working together for a long time now. Though she looked angry, so maybe they will stop working. He was cut off from very loud banging and moans. Everyone in the dorms looked at each other. Are they, you know? Mina asked with a lilac color appearing on her cheeks. It would seem so. Momo said making noise-cancelling headphones for herself. I thought they were at the top floor. Jiro said holding her ears because she can hear more than the others. Looks like they will stay together. Kitsuki said putting on his earplugs. Isn't Iida's room on the top floor? Hagakure asked. Yeah it is. Shiro said, so is mine, can I crash in one of yours? He asked with Kirishima raising his hand. Iida laid in his bed hearing the very loud moans and the sound of slapping echo across the halls. Couple hours later, he laid there with bloodshot eyes with the sound not lowering at all. The rest of the class stayed in the living room trying to ignore it. Mineta and Kaminari tried to get a peek only for Bakugo to knock them out. It stopped when they all heard a loud snap was heard followed by a very loud yell. Mothrabiker, my back, May, I think you broke it. Cool. Aha, did you really have to go that far? Izuku asked with May smiling at him. Yes, it's what I wanted for the longest. For you to finally accept me as more than a partner. She says giving him a quick peck on his lips. Same here, Himiko said also giving him a kiss. So do you guys want to get some bagel bites? Because they are amazing, or some chimichanga, he offered. Sure, I can go for some lunch but let's shower first, we are covered in sweat, Himiko suggested as me and May nod. After a quick shower and a bit of fun in there. Though slipping and breaking my neck was annoying. Though I noticed that my body was breaking more. I carry the girls down the stairs as we are having fun. We enter the living room to see everyone sleeping there. Aw, did they have a sleepover and didn't invite me? You guys are bad friends, I said getting a pillow thrown at my face. The raven-haired one sat up with her large tits bouncing. How did you get that from all of us sleeping down here with earmuffs, she yelled as I smiled. Blankets, pillows, TV is playing a movie, it's sleepover, he says, pointing everything he saw, grabbing a beer from the bridge. We didn't put beer in there. A confused Mina said. I did, and what are you going to do about it? Izuku asked with Mina shaking her head. Nothing. Cool, he responded, catching multiple cloths, chugging his beer while at it. So even when you're intoxicated you a top performance, that's good. Aizawa says, pulling back his scarf. Hey there Mr. Hobo, that is apparently a great teacher, did you miss me? Izuku asked, disappearing and reappearing with a massive cake in his hands. Anybody hungry? It's coffee flavored, he said, taking a slice for himself. The rest were a bit apprehensive from his last prank. May instantly got herself a slice. You got my favorite, she shouted, eating hers very quickly, then grabbing another slice. For you Himi, I got a blood cake, it's my blood. He says as she devours it in pure joy. They all take slices with Katsuki stepping outside. Okay, this is an apology cake for what about to do. Izuku say with Mei and Himiko holding my shoulder. Don't mean for what you did last night? Jiro asks, slowly. Back up. Aw, you know me better than that. My one and only fan. He says with lots of venom. He takes out a detonator with a red button glowing brightly. Now have a good wake-up call, because people always betray, Izuku shouted, pressing it, then teleporting away to the outside of the dorm. The squad peer in to see the whole living room of the dorm was covered in cake. Wait, squad. Izuku looked to his left, to his a brown-haired girl munching on her cake. What? I ain't letting you waste cake like that. She said, eating her cake. She looked like a squirrel stuffing her cheeks. You know what, you deserve this. He hands her a Tupperware filled with high-end mochi. Thanks, she shouts. They all walk in to see a very angry class 1 covered in cake. You shouldn't trust a maniac that can snap like a rubber band or a condom. Well, whatever analogy you choose. Izuku suggested, dodging a cake bit. You gotta be quicker than that. His eyes zoom in on Shoto, noticing his burn scar. Hey Zuko, can you stop giving me the buck me eyes? Izuku stated, with Shoto giving him a dirty look. Or are those I am going kill you eyes? I can't tell honestly. Suddenly from behind he gets tackled to the ground. Everybody cake him, Katsuki shouted, holding him, as they all smiled evilly. They all grabbed cake bits and chucked it at him. Though some got adventurous. Wait, is that a chair? He screamed as it broke on impact. Okay class, get cleaned up, you all have battle training, so be quick. A cake covered, as Awa said, tossing the broken chair leg away. Izuku honey, I love you, though you should have seen that coming. Mei said, wiping the blood and cake off him. But it was fun though, so it's alright. He responded, kissing her cheek. She wrapped her arms around his neck, nibbling his cheek, eating cake that was on it. Now go change because you have battle training, my little green menace. She says, picking him up. I'm Skip. I sat down at my seat with my uniform on. I can literally kill anybody, and yet I still can't tie my tie. I thought, taking out a bag of chips. I crunch them loudly as they all stare at me in annoyance. What? What you mean? What, you have been here for 2 days and you have been a terrible dorm mate? Momo explained. Like what? I've only been myself, and it's that or I go out hunting a certain doctor. Though my insanity senses have telling me that I will find a clue here. I say, shrugging. Want me to list the wrongs you have caused? I nodded to her words. You aren't taking school seriously, almost shot the teacher, switched the milk with horse sperm, I don't know how you got it, had very loud intercourse with your girlfriend, and blew up an entire cake for fun, making a large mess. She stated as I nodded. You forgot one thing. What did I forget? I am pretty sure I got everything. The rabid jackal. The jackal, yeah, I hid it in the girls' restroom. I am actually surprised that you girls didn't fin I get cut off to see a purple midget bust through the classroom door. He was bleeding profusely with multiple scratches covering him. Help me, there is a wild animal after me, he shouted, with the girls getting a dark aura around them. From the other side of the door you could hear the jackal scratching against it. I teleport to the door and open it to see it instantly attack the grape. Next time don't be a perv. I say, pulling the jackal off. Then return to my seat. I am sorry for doubting you, you really are a good person, thanks for dealing with the pervert and protecting us. Momo said, hugging me. I did what? No Izuku, you can use this to get free stuff. Just play it cool. Yeah, I saw enter, so I took my friend's pet after him, I say confidentially. She pets it as it sits next to her laying down. Aw, he is so cute. I get a text message, so I check it to see it's from my bro. It read. You are full of shit. That's about right. Suddenly the door bursted open to reveal my favorite goody two-shoes of the heroes. I am here, Captain Steroids. Ah shit, you're here, this is going to be a long day. Battle training. Alright, this is going to be fun, Izuku shouted, with Uraraka looking worried. You think we can win this? She asked, with Izuku taking out a bag of mochi. Sure we can, we won in the canon, so we can definitely win in an alternate universe, or it would be boring, he shouted as she grabbed some mochi. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, so what's the plan? She asked, showing as much energy as him. I like your spirit. Okay Kirby, the plan is Hero team can enter now. Well looks like we have no plan, so Kirby let's just stay together, he informs, handing her the rest of the bag. Question, ask away. You didn't have mochi earlier? You practically took this out from nowhere, she said, pointing at the bag of mochi. Well if you don't like mochi you want a jumbo size of Doritos? He asked, taking out a massive of Doritos from nowhere. It's mostly air though, he said, opening the bag, revealing that it only had 10% of it filled. Oh but that's not what I asked, she says, very confused, with Izuku munching away. Uraraka decided to throw away the logic of the situation and decided to go with the flow. Then let's just focus on the mission at hand then, she said, getting pumped up. Izuku smiled widely as he knew he would have fun. Soon they both made it to the top floor with no traps or interruptions along the way. Izuku stomped the final door open, revealing both Iida and Bakugo standing there. Took you long enough nerd, so let's see if my training paid off, he shouted with his hands, sparking very brightly. Hey Kirby, these are for you, Izuku shouted, tossing her the jumbo-sized Doritos. Both Izuku and Bakugo charged straight towards each other, with Iida doing the same towards Uraraka. Izuku took out a bat, swinging straight for the head. Gonna get a home run, he shouted as the bat was exploded to bits. That ain't happening Babe Ruth, he shouted, sucker punching Izuku in the gut, sending him back. By the what do these do? Izuku asked, showing that he took grenade gauntlets from him. Pull the pin and find out. Bakugo screamed, kicking Izuku in the face. Only for it to be grabbed and then getting slammed in the wall. Looks like I did get to swing, he shouted, getting blasted in the face with an explosion. Nah, I let you do that for an opening, that wall can't hurt me, Bakugo boasted, putting back on his gauntlet. Sorry, like you let that massive raccoon attack you, that took your MP3 player, Izuku shouted, sweeping his legs, letting him fall forward. Izuku looked at Uraraka to see that she made Iida float to the ceiling and also put the bag of Doritos on his head. Hey wacko, how good is your regen? Bakugo asked. I mean, I don't mean to brag or anything, but I am pretty sure that I can come back to pretty much anything. He bragged. Good, let's put that to the test. Bakugo pulled his foot, making him fall onto his back. Eat shit, Katsuki shouted, cocking back his gauntlet, pulling the pin. The blast slammed Katsuki in the ceiling, while Izuku was hit point blank while laying down. A massive explosion happened, blasting Izuku through all the floors. Izuku, you good? Or do we have to put you back together like a puzzle? All Might asked over his earpiece as the class looked in horror of what Katsuki did. I am fine, just can't feel my legs, he said, looking to his side to see his legs. He grabbed them. I am okay, I can feel my legs, he said, sliding it back on, letting his regeneration do the work to placing back into its normal formation. Hero team wins, All Might shouted, with Katsuki looking over to see Uraraka placing her hand on the bomb. He sighed and got up. He trudged his way to the massive hole he made and peered over. Yo Izuku, you good, or do I have to put you back together like a more disgusting Lego man? He shouted down as his voice echoed. I'm fine, just lots of blood, good attack, but it needs more firepower, like a gun, wait, no more like a rocket launcher, Izuku shouted back. Soon they all made it back. Sup bitches, Izuku said, coming in with a whole lasagna. Bakugo, you took it too far, Momo shouted at him. No he didn't, if he took it too far, I would have been chum, Izuku said, offering everyone a piece. Still, shut it Ponytail, this is just how me and him fight, we can go all out because we know we can take it, he states, taking a piece. Nice fight, I know you were the villain, but as a hero you must never overdo it, All Might informed, with Iida looking down from the fact that he was taken out pretty quickly. Izuku peered over to a certain peppermint classmate. Hey, does the curtains match the carpet? He asked, with the boy walking away. Wow, he legit gave me the cold shoulder, Izuku said as he watched the fights of his other classmates. Though he got bored, so he walked up to Captain Steroids. How are the lungs? He asked. Perfect, thanks to you I can move like my prime. He whispered to Izuku that a certain purple-haired lady heard as well. Great, any leads? None. Cool, I am gonna go, I have a doctor's appointment, Izuku said, handing in a note. That's alright, just give it here and you can leave. Izuku handed it over, then teleported away to his appointment. All Might peered at the note, then seeing that it was scribbles in red crayon. Wait, he has regeneration. I just got played. Meanwhile, ahahaha, I can't believe he fell for it, he laughed as he walked into his apartment to see Lady Nagin fixing her sniper arm and Al with Ray building a dresser. Desu is going to get punched by All Might the next time he sees him, Izuku shouted, with all of them turning their heads towards him. You. Hell yeah, now help me come up with plans to hide for the rest of my life, cause it's going to hurt me, he answered, taking out multiple documents. I think my new name has to be Juan Tacos, USJ. Okay class, yesterday was a good show of your quirks though, Bakugo, next time do not test whether your gauntlets can kill someone, Aizawa said as he took out a pamphlet. We are going to the USJ today, so get your gear ready because Universal Studi. Shut up, I have heard that same joke over 100 times, now go get ready, Aizawa yelled, shutting up Denki Kaminari, who sat down scared. Hey, where is Midoriya? Mina asked Bakugo. Remember yesterday how he left class early? Well, All Might is currently hunting him down for it, he responded. Do you think he will show? Jiro asked as he shrugged. If All Might grabs, yes, if he gets away he won't show because he would be bragging that All Might can't catch him. Hut to him, miss me, he shouted while All Might flew above him. Get back here, All Might shouted as I weaved through the alleys. And make me, it's not my fault that you fell for my trick, I say, leaving the alley as he landed in front of me. All Might released a massive amount of wind pressure. Looks like I've been too lenient on you. From causing a lot of property damage to my agency to the fact that I let you skip class. He said as he loomed over me with his bright blue eyes shining. To be honest, the symbol of peace can really look scary when he isn't laughing. Aw, come on Tashi, can't you let me slide, I begged as he shook his head. No, we're friends, right? I asked, holding out my hand. Yes we are, but you must face repercussions. He said, grabbing hand. You must face having detention with Nezu. No, you can't make me, he is just going to make me do my homework, I shouted back as he tightened his grip on my hand. I take out my knife to cut it off with All Might blocking it. The blade looked like a crinkled tin can. Not this time. Fine, but let's grab a bagel before we go back, I shouted, activating my teleporting watch. A bright light consumes the both of us as we fall through the sky. Buck, ah shit, I messed up the coordinates, I shouted as we fell towards the busy street. Dang it Izuku, why must you be so difficult, he says, grabbing me and propelling us to a nearby roof safely. Where are we? New York, because I wanted a New York bagel, I said in an accent making him facepalm. I checked the time to see if I could still make class. Oh shit, the trip is about to start, I shouted, setting the exact coordinates to Katsuki's personal tracker. Wait, All Might yelled, attempting to grab me as I teleported back to Japan. You have to be kidding me, okay, time to beat my fastest time. He said, launching himself towards Japan. When I reappeared I crashed straight into Katsuki. Sup, I say, getting up to see the whole class suited up in their hero gear. Nerd, where the hell were you, Katsuki shouted, getting up and shaking me. New York, I also might have left the number one hero there too. I say, noticing my mistake. You don't think that he will be mad, right? I ask as they look at me, then walked into the bus. Eyes. Fine, that is a problem for future Deadpool, but I have to suit up, I say, teleporting again to my favorite Pinky. May honey, I need to my super suit. I said as she dove on top of me. Hey Izuku, I am so happy to see you, she said, hugging me very tightly. Me too, Pinkie Pie, hey, I need my suit because we are going to the USJ. No problem, just need to say that you have no guns until I get the permit to build them, she said, tossing the suit to me. Legally saying that is, but what the cameras don't catch never happened. She added, handing me 2 Desert Eagles. Along with 2 katanas, these were a bit hard to forge for the fact that I had to use tougher metals. She says, unsheathing one. Super duper sharp too, she informed, stabbing it through a Kevlar vest like butter. May, this is great, I say as she gave me a quick kiss and I was halfway changing into my suit. I know, but later we need to talk about some arrangements. May told me, clicking a couple buttons on the watch. But that is for later, have fun on the trip. As I teleported I spoke up, love yo. The moment he was gone May rushed to the nearest trash can and threw up her breakfast. That ain't good, gotta see recovery girl. She said, trudging towards the nurse's office. I reappeared in front the class fully geared up. I am back, oh, and they're gone. Might as well use Katsuki's tracker again. I muttered, teleporting again, landing on top of him again. Fucking shit, quit doing this, he shouted as I got up. Well, it's that or I teleport into you because of your tracker. The buck do you mean tracker, he shouted at me as some spit goes to my face. I wipe face clean, nothing, you heard nothing, and I said nothing. I say, turning around and taking a seat. Yo Midoriya, do you think that you can put on a shirt? Jiro said, pointing it out. Oh yeah, I was halfway done with it. I said, changing into the suit fully. Then locked and loaded my gear to my kit. Then the one that looked like a frog spoke up. Midoriya, I usually say what's on my mind. She said as I nodded, that's alright, it's good to say what's on your mind. It's what makes everybody special, though sometimes it just shows your lack of intelligence. I answered back as she smiled. Well, I was going to ask, why did you become a killer for hire? Kiro Asui asked as I smiled. I was tortured for 10 years straight for my quirk. Close to death on multiple occasions, got to meet death. Blew up the lab I was in and I needed money. So I robbed drug dealers, then got hired to kill people. I responded in the most simplest I could. Is that why you kill? Ribbit. No, I mainly do it because I want revenge for the bucker that experimented on me. He got away from me once, but next time he will definitely feel everything he did to me, I angrily say, cracking my armrests. Okay, everybody out, we are here, as always said as they all got out. We entered to see the massive area filled with disaster zones like a buildings on fire and a boat on a lake. Hello class 1, welcome to the USJ, where I teach you how to deal with disasters, the Space Hero 13 said as we all listened. Hey, where is All Might? She asked. In New York, I answered as the 2 heroes stared at me. He started it and I fought back in self-defense. I swear. Suddenly the lights flickered with a massive purple portal opening in the plaza. Dozens of villains come with 2 striking me especially. One had a suit on with a metal brace on and a black bird with an exposed brain. Now Miss Doc, you better be scared. Looks like I will get to find out where that damn doctor is today, I shouted, running toward them and jumping down the many stairs. Namu, he landed at the bottom of the stairway with the thugs looking upon him in fear. So? What is your big plan? Little men, he says, walking forward, smiling very widely with his mask hiding it. His new lead for revenge was in front of him, blocked by cattle. "That's shit, it's him," one shouted. "We got numbers, get him," another shouted, getting into a fighting stance. "Oh please, let's dance," Izuku shouted, taking out his newest guns. His body was littered with Quirk bullets. "Soon they all stopped firing. My turn," he shouted, blasting one's head off. He charged in, shooting them as he ran forward. He jumped into the air, rotating his entire body, then slamming his foot into a gorilla-armed lackey's neck, with the sound of the crack being heard. He landed, shoving his entire fist through and another lackey. "Haha, this is so easy," he shouted as he continued to murder them all. He landed a triple headshot with a mutant type running straight towards him. "Their bullets can't hurt me," he shouted, trying to grab Izuku with his forearms. "No, they can't, but these can," Izuku said, unsheathing his blades, quickly slicing his arms off. He shouted in pain, only for it to be cut short from the fact his head was rolling across the concrete. The class looked in horror as he kept charging and killing the villains. Some lost their lunches as they were all warped away. "Shit, 13, protect the students," Aizawa yelled as he fell into a portal. She quickly activated her quirk, forcing the warper to stop. It was a stalemate for a bit. "He to run to the campus now, no questions," she shouted as he nodded, speeding towards the exit. The warper made a portal behind her as she tore herself apart. "You will stay with us here," he shouted as something grabbed a hold of him. "No, you're," Raka shouted, forcing him to float and chuck the warper towards the sky. Iida kicked the door at full strength, tearing right through it, speeding towards the main campus. Izuku was breathing heavily as he stood amongst the mutilated bodies of the dead villains. His suit was dyed red from its normal green color. The smell of iron tainted the air as he stared at a familiar blue-haired man and a Namu. Without a second though, he rushed forward, appearing in front of the man. "Where is that doctor?" he shouted, holding the man by the neck. He gurgled and couldn't utter a single word. Izuku tore off the severed hand on his face. "I asked you a question," he shouted as the blue-haired man grabbed onto his mask. All 5 of his fingers connected, desegregating his mask and face. "Mother bucker," Izuku shouted, throwing the guy to the ground as he was coughing, holding his neck. Izuku held his face as he felt it turn to dust. "Hey area," he shouted in pain. He scratched at his own face, ripping out chunks with his hands. He continued to maim himself until the dusting stopped. The blue-haired man stared at him as Izuku's face regenerated, fully healing. The two locked eyes, recognizing each other almost immediately from the past. "Bob. Labrat. The buck are you doing here?" Izuku asked as the newly dubbed Bob stood up. "I could ask you the same thing, Labrat," he answered back. "That Namu is my lead for my revenge, and it looks like you are in my way, Bob," Izuku shouted, aiming his blade at Bob. "No, you are in my way and killing All Might, Labrat. Also my name isn't Bob," he shouted, "but you told me it was." "I lied, it's Tamura Shigaraki." Shigaraki shouted at Izuku. "Well, my name is Izuku Midoriya Bakugo." "I don't care." Izuku's memories flashed back to when he was in a cage, being ripped apart and being forcibly put back together. He met one blue-haired child older than him that actually showed him kindness. Flashback. "Here," the boy said, sliding him a slice of pizza. "Why?" Izuku had asked. "You looked hungry, so I am giving you some food." "Well, I haven't ate in 4 years, so thanks," Izuku said, shoving it into his mouth, not caring if it burned him. He finished it quickly. "What was it?" "It's pizza, how do you not know that?" "Labrat," the boy said, confused, trying to sound tough. "Hello numbnuts, I've been here since I was 3. Izuku responded. "What's your name?" Izuku asked the boy. "It's Bob." "Yeah, it's Bob," Bob said as Izuku smiled. "Nice to meet you." Bob smiled at him as well. "Why are you in here?" "My quirk is op regeneration, so I am just being used for it," Izuku responded. "Oh, why are you here?" Izuku asked. "Well, sensei and the doctor are gone on a mission, so I wandered down here." Bob responded. "Will you be my friend?" Izuku asked. Sure, I got a new video game, want to see?" he asked. The two played for hours, laughing till he had to leave. The doctor walked and saw Izuku smiling. "Why are you doing that?" "I made a new friend, his name was Bob." "Oh, you poor thing, you have gone insane or you hallucinated a friend." The doctor said, upping the voltage on a control. "Good, can't have a sane test subject," he shouted, electrocuting Izuku till he passed out. He met Bob a couple more times until he just stopped appearing. Flashback over. "And here I thought I hallucinated you," Izuku said. "You're an idiot," Shigaraki responded. "Why did you stop showing up?" Izuku asked, lowering his blades. "Sensei found out, sorry bud, but whatever he says goes. Plus you disappeared, not me. I went down there one day and you were gone. I thought you finally died." "Well then just tell me where the doctor is, because I am here for him, not my childhood friend. My revenge mission needs you to tell me his location." Izuku says. Shigaraki sighed. "No can do. Sorry, but my mission needs this. Looks like we are going have to fight and I don't really want to, just tell me." Izuku says. Looks like we can't be friends anymore, sorry. Shigaraki says, pointing up his finger at him. Me too, Izuku said, aiming his blade at him. The warper appeared beside Shigaraki. I am sorry to say, but one of the students got away and the pros are going to be here soon. It's alright, Kurogiri. They won't be a problem. Shigaraki said in a monotone voice. This is where we stop being friends, Izuku. Go Namu, he shouted, sending it after Izuku. Shigaraki picked up the hand Izuku ripped off from his face and put it back on. Izuku felt like the life of punch out of him as the Namu sent him flying back. Damn, that hurt, he thought as he crashed into the stairway. He got up to see the hulking monster in front of him. Now this is just unfair, he shouted as it grabbed his head. Izuku slashed his arm off. Gotta love these blades, Izuku shouted as the Namu looked at its arm confused. He used other arm to slap Izuku across the plaza. I think my spine is twisted, I thought, getting up to see the Namu regenerating way faster than me. Oh shit, the doc must have perfected my quirk, I shouted, running towards it. Sorry bud, gotta kill you, I yelled as it turned its head towards me. It reaches to bear hug me, so I leaned back 90 degrees, slicing off both of its arms. You've been disarmed, I said, quickly jumping onto it. The brain is the weakness, I thought as I remembered the doctor's notes. I dig both of my hands into his open skull. Open brain surgery is on the way, I yelled, tearing out the entire brain along with some of the spinal cord. Shigaraki, just tell me where he is. Looks like the Namu is out commission, but good thing we made preparations in case the brain was damaged. Kurogiri said as I looked at him dumbly. My head quickly turned to see the monster I put down getting back up. His entire brain and damaged parts healed at a rapid speed. Shit has just hit the fan. I said, grabbing the Namu's arm. We are flying, big boy, Izuku shouted, using his teleport them 1,000 feet into the air above the USJ. Izuku quickly cuts it up with its regeneration, healing it. This is so annoying. Oh wait, is this how people who fight me feel? Cool, he said, with the Namu getting the upper hand by grabbing my body. It twisted midair, holding me down as we fell to the ground. Izuku continuously stabbed it as the ground got closer. It wouldn't let go of him at all. You can go fuck. The two then smashed into the floor of the plaza. The dust settled with the Namu still beating down Izuku. Its fists were covered in blood. Izuku wasn't saying a single word from the crater. The entrance of the USJ was covered in dust and the steps of heavy footsteps were heard. Prime, Izuku, I am sorry for taking too long, my friend, but remember, this was your fault for your tricks. All Might bellowed in a deep voice. The Namu continued to beat Izuku into the ground. All Might is here. Finally, Namu attack him, Shigaraki shouted, with the Namu looking up at All Might. All Might appear right in front of the monstrosity. He looked at Izuku, who was just a pile of fleshy mush and tattered broken suit. He looked back at the Namu. It jumped back, crouching down on all fours like a feral dog, slobbering everywhere. It launched itself towards All Might at a very fast speed, almost appearing like it teleported. The Namu collided with All Might, sending out a massive shock wave that was felt all across the USJ. The dust soon settled, showing everyone that was watching what was happening. What? Shigaraki shouted on shock from the scene. All Might held onto the Namu's fist with ease. He had a face filled with rage. The Namu tried to pull its arms away from All Might's grip, but failing spectacularly. Is that all you can show me? All Might said, looking at Shigaraki. Why you are supposed to be weaker, not stronger than your prime, Shigaraki shouted at him. Who decided that? All Might shouted, tightening his grip on the Namu's hand as it whined. Who decided that I should have been weaker? You hurt my friends and students. As a teacher of UA, I shall show you my rage. He said, coldly, releasing a thick choking aura. Kurogiri's main program to protect Shigaraki Tamura went wild and instantly teleported them to safety. The Namu tore its hands off and jumped back, instantly regenerating. Oh, you're the creation of the doctor that tortured my friend. I will put you out of your misery. All Might said as it charged at him again. All Might cocked back his fist into a powerful stance. He focused his strength throughout his entire body. His muscles tightened to the maximum that they continued building the amount of energy that he was about to release. He quickly closed the gap between him and the Namu. Then slamming his fist directly into the chest. Making the Namu's flesh fluctuated like a ripple in calm water. A massive shockwave happened again, 5 times stronger than the Namu's previous one. All Might retracted his fist as the Namu stood before him completely still. All Might flicked it as its entire body collapses within itself. As if all of its cells were completely dead, along with the bones being reduced to powder. The body was falling apart from cellular level, finally rejecting all the quirks it had within itself, tearing itself apart. The Namu laid there motionless as All Might walked away. That thing has to be the doing of All for One. It had super strength, shock absorption and regeneration. I need to be ready, our next meeting could level all of Japan because the two of us might be back in our prime. He thought as he reached Izuku's body. Izuku stared at his former body from his astral ghost form. Man, I am messed up. I know, and I do not like what happened to you. He turned his head to see Mistress Death. Izuku dove at her, giving her a kiss. Missed you, he shouted as she pulled him into a tight hug. Gotta say that monster of flesh pound you pretty thoroughly. That's what she said, hahaha. He laughed as she looked unamused. Her hourglass began to beep loudly. Time for you to go back. She said sadly, giving him a hug. I'll be watching, so show me a good show. Death said as she faded. I'll be stronger, he shouted, returning to his mangled body. Izuku sat up from his beaten body. The skeletal structure was fully healed but not his flesh. He stood up as his organs and other loosely connected skin tissue fell off along with his tattered suit. All Might stood before him with his hand out. He gladly took it. Izuku, next time don't leave me across the world. He said as the rest pros showed up. The class began to regroup, so All Might gave Izuku his coat from the fact that was regenerating all of his parts, meaning he would be fully naked. Izuku used his now muscle-covered skeletal hand to dig through his stuff. He pulled out the perfected trigger and his now destroyed teleporter. All Might looked at him and nodded, turning away. What he doesn't see didn't happen. Izuku injected the trigger into his body. It rapidly adjusted to it and accepting it, unlike other drugs. His body began to steam from the amount of heat he was producing. His vocal cords finally regrew. "Ho, this shit is hot," he shouted as he collapses to all fours. His body rapidly began to heal like never before, quadruple the speed of the Namu's regeneration. "Aye," he screamed in pain as his body ripped itself apart and healed itself, accepting the perfected drug. His new muscles became more firm and tighter, rebuilding themselves. His eyes became dilated as he cracked the ground from his hand, pressing down on it. The others watched in fear from his current state. Soon all sound coming from him soon stopped. He slowly stood up, a new person. His body was completely changed from the one he had before. It felt stronger and it healed a lot faster. He could just tell by moving his fingertips. "Ha ha ha, doctor, just you wait, Deadpool is coming for you," he said to himself. Did he really call himself his alter ego? Mina asked as Jiro corrected her. Deadpool and Izuku Midoriya are the same person with the suit on or not? He is Deadpool, that's just who he is as a person. She stated as Izuku turned around wearing the massive coat of All Might. "Gotta say this field trip was shitty," stated. "You can say that again, nerd," Kitsuki said, walking up to him. "So are you going to disappear from again?" Izuku smiled wickedly. "Nah, he will come to me this time. I am going to be ready for anything he will throw at me. Anything." Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.